Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Today we are in John chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 4 through 5. Here it is. It reads, "In him was life." We talked about that last time. "And the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." So last time we discussed the first part of this text, that Jesus, or the Word, is the ever-existing, always existed, eternal life. Like literally life is in him. But now John adds this really interesting metaphor here. And it's important because he's going to repeat this one a few times in this first chapter. It's the metaphor of light. And if you're even a casual reader of the Bible, that you know that this is the first thing that God ever created. I mean, first there was God, and obviously the Word was with him, and it always existed, and there was life there. But the very next thing that comes is light. And so with this metaphor, John takes us all the way back to the first pages of the Bible again. But it's a metaphor, so we got to ask the obvious question. What does this metaphor mean? And the word light infers things like understanding or enlightenment. So the text could read this way: in him was ever-existing life, and the life was the understanding of men. The understanding shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So when we read it this way, we discover another word in metaphor in the text, and the word is darkness. And darkness infers something as well. It infers ignorance, or a state of moral and spiritual ignorance. This means we can now read the text this way: in him was the ever-existing, always existed, eternal life. And the life was the understanding of men, and the understanding shines into spiritual ignorance, and the ignorance has not overcome it. Do you see it there? It's kind of an interesting verse, isn't it? So what John has done is he has borrowed from the schools of Greek language, of course, which he is writing in, and Greek philosophy, and demonstrated how Jesus is everything unresolved in Greek schools of thought. This Jesus is the resolution to the divide between what is human and what is divine, and what is divine and is human. That the divine logos, or the Word, has come down to earth, made himself known, and has spoken with man to bring divine understanding that we lacked to that point in history. He lived with us, he lived among us, but the world was confused about him because of their limited understanding or ignorance. But those who want to understand can have understanding because it's found from, in, and through him, the Word, the understanding of God. So this explains something. It explains why we as believers see something so clearly sometimes that others do not. By hearing and believing in the Word, Jesus realized we receive divine understanding. And continuous engagement with this Word, by reading the Word literally, it results in a continuous, redeemed, and renewed mind. And the redeemed and renewed mind sees things that the ignorant mind does not. So the next time you're irritated by all the ignorance you see and hear in the world, remember, you are not going crazy. This is just your redeemed mind seeing something that others have yet to see. It's also an excellent reminder to keep your mind in the Word, because it's the only way you're going to know that you're not going crazy. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you today. I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.